Yo, 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 we are back. Paint to the pit. Another episode post Thanksgiving grub. Talk to me, bro. How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. Still a little comatose from that food, bro.
Still a little comatose from that food. Still a little sleepy and yawny from that Survivor Series, bro. So I think we
Oh,
might as well jump right into it. Survivor Series happened this past Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend, in San Diego,
mhm.
California. The opening match saw the women's War Games match. Am I saying that right? That was the
Right,
opening match, right? The
right,
women's
yep.
War Game match. And in that match, we saw Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Lee defeat Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Becky Lynch. Of course, we got our Io Sky moment with her putting the trash can on her head and flipping off the top of the cage and stuff. But
Mhm.
talk to me, bro. Tell me your thoughts about that opening match. Tell me what you feel about like the spots, the moments, the wrestling, everything.
I like where the women are right now. I've been saying that. That's pretty much been my stance. Just as a totality for the year, I think the women are still in a good spot. I wasn't too high on the match. Um, I will acknowledge that I think that it worked here specifically for them because it's just a testament to where the women are at right now. I think all these different characters are firing on all cylinders. Everybody's character seems to be gelling and working, and they've been able to like craft stories off of every person. It just seems
Absolutely.
like everybody's in the right place. So when you see a match like this, it's just like, oh, this is just a bunch of greats coming together, like again, Io Sky just doing what she do, just antics. But
Now there you
I
go.
I right. I do like the match, but again it seems like there could have been room for a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'm just a little bit spoiled because I do casually watch AEW, and AEW also did a similar war game style match where
Yeah.
they got so they'll just randomly do like a weekly show called Blood and Guts. I don't think there's ever like a specific timetable for that to happen. They kind of just be like, all right, this week we're gonna do Blood and Guts. Usually just a bunch of hardcore matches and everybody just getting crazy in the ring. Their
Yeah.
women did a War Games match in that style, completely bloody and a mess. And to see that compared to
Mm.
this match, I'm just like, damn, man, they
Yeah.
could have did so much more. But again, I appreciate where they're at. I think the women are just. I don't think they could do too much wrong right now. It's just everyone's in a good place, and it's something to watch. It was a match that just it happened. It's done. I don't think it really.
Yeah. I think solid, bro. There we go. You can hear me?
Was I cut off?
Yeah, you was cut off a little bit, but that's fine. We good.
Oh shoot,
Get
yeah,
back into it.
another call, bro.
Yeah, nah, listen, the life of a grown ass man.
Oh man. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had on it. I thought it was okay. I mean, it you can't do much with it when it comes to war games matches. So this is it's just another 6, 7 out of 10 type of match. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I agree, bro. For me, it ain't really too much to add. I thought it was a decent match. I mean, you know, storylines to me matter a lot. So I get they had a few in this. They tried,
Mhm.
or you can respect that they tried, but starting to feel like with some of these PLEs, and again, I think that's a topic I expound on at the end, but it's starting to seem like, we going into like just Starfest era as opposed to actually building storylines. But
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that match in particular, bro, shout out to the women. It was what it was. I thought it was a good match. wasn't great, but it wasn't like terrible either. So shout
Hmm.
out to them. Moving along in the most obvious match of the evening and the most obvious result of the evening and the most obvious of obviouses, we saw Dominic Mysterio defeat John Cena to retain his Intercontinental Championship, become a two-time Intercontinental Champion, but to, further solidify himself as the greatest Mysterio of all time. So shout out to Dominic Mysterio, which saw, a Liv Morgan return, which saw, the entire Judgment Day helping out Dom in that match. Like, Dom is the tribal chief. That was, to me, everything about that match was weird, strange, probably still the best match of the night. But, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Probably still the best match of the night, but still, it's like that was so smack in the face obvious, where it was just like I couldn't even really get excited for it because it wasn't really no storyline there. But how you feeling
Hmm.
about that match, bro?
Yeah, it just goes back to just how we've been feeling about Cena's run in general. It's just like you keep feeling like everything they do here is just to try to make up for the mistakes that they made to start with his run, which I feel like there were a few where it just wasn't hitting. And I
Yeah,
think this was the attempt to try to right the wrongs, and I just don't think it's hitting either. Because again, we talked about this, like you give John Cena the belt, and then it's like, what do you do with that? Like, it
yeah,
only makes sense that he's got to drop it at some point, and it just happened to be that he only held it for like what 25 days.
yeah.
Um, I get wanting to make him a Grand Slam champion. I'm on board with that. Cool, great, get all the accolades. Do what you got to do. Did he help elevate Dom Mysterio a little bit? But at the same time, I'm like, did Dom Mysterio really need that? Like Dom,
No,
he's good. Yeah, like he's doing
it's,
well. Like,
it's super over. Dom is super
right.
duper over.
He's
Super
doing
duper
so
over.
well, and I appreciate the nod because it's Dom Mysterio. That's practically WWE royalty, right? Like he's family.
Yeah,
Mysterio's been in the game forever, and his pops has done a lot for the company, so I get it.
the
But
only
again,
20-year-old, 20-year vet.
right, right. But
Crazy.
it's Dom gets the belt back, and now we're like, now what, right? And
Yep.
then you bring back Liv Morgan, and it's like we took a character who had some of the highest momentum coming into this year, was pretty much firing on all cylinders, was in untouchable superstar status, right?
Yeah.
She gets injured, and then it's like you're writing everybody else in, which that happened to work out. But now it's like to bring her back this way, it kind of feels like they just kind of put that fire out, and I'm like, you should have threw her into her own storyline. Like the women are doing good. Work
Yeah.
with what you got. Work with what's happened so far. And I think that just shows like what they lack, and that's just the continued storytelling aspect. They just can't seem to like nail these little bits where they could capitalize on and just give us like interesting story. Like we talk about the
Yeah.
long term storytelling of it, right? Like give us that. Like go back. Oh, remember when
Absolutely.
Rhea did this, or like Stephanie Vaquer did this? So, like you could have just weaved her somewhere in there. I didn't think she needed to be a part of this John Cena run at all.
At all. At
Yeah.
all. It was the most pointless spot to have her come back. Like it was like Dom was winning that match regardless. You know?
Regardless.
Dom was winning that match regardless. So to use that moment, I agree, was a waste of time. But shout out to our boy Dom, the greatest Mysterio of all time, man. We're gonna keep calling him that because that's what he calling himself. Moving right along to the women's world championship match, which saw Stephanie Vaquer defeat Nikki Bella. And you know what, bro? I actually enjoyed this match.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know what, like I didn't expect much from it. Maybe that's why the
Mhm.
expectations were like very very
Yeah.
low. But I thought that had some great spots. I thought the Devil's Kiss on the announcers table
It's a
was
yeah.
was a nice spot for her to come back in the ring and do it again. And it was a win that she dominated. Like I think Stephanie Vaquer is great. It's just gonna be all about the matchup. And shout out to Nikki Bella for still actually being able to put on a quality match. And I don't mean that like in a condescending way because I know like that's how it could come off. But it's just
Mhm.
like we're watching some of our elders in the game on both sides, men and women, just not put on quality matches. Like come back around after a long time off and just don't give us anything of substance. So that's why I phrase it that way. So shout out to them. Shout out to Stephanie Vaquer. It's great to see her continue her run because she deserves it. How you
Mhm.
feeling about that match, bro?
Yeah. I wasn't too high on it, but that's again coming from me, the way I see it is like I just feel like there's a lot of superstars right now that in the women's division that are just doing great, and the character work has been good for them, and there's not too many people where I'm like, stale. Like when you go to the men's side, you could look at like say like a LA Knight and be like, damn, like this character's kind of stale right now. It's just like I like
Yeah,
him, but it's like where do you fit that guy? But at least when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer defending that title, you could look at other stars that's younger and like in the game that you like, oh, this wouldn't be like too bad of a match.
yeah, for sure.
like
I
a
agree.
Julia, which I think Julia is hurt right now, but they seem to have history being outside of WWE and like New Japan and stuff like that. But just little bits of storylines like that. Not to knock Nikki Bella, and I'm glad she's able to come back and show off her prowess and skill, and she's made that her thing. She's good with the craft, but I'm just like, again, it's not needed. She's
Yeah.
great at what she does. No disrespect or shade to her, but I'm just like, man, like it would have been nice to just see the company use what they got and not having to bring in a well liked character from the past just to
Yeah.
have a match to put on. It's like you could start storylines here, especially on the road to WrestleMania, because we know
Yeah.
after this match, what is Nikki Bella doing now? Probably nothing. It's probably just
Yeah.
like, she's here, she had that match. Now, all right, let's move on, try something else. There's really nowhere else you could fit her, and it seems like that was just her one-off match, and then bye bye.
Yeah. No, for certain. Listen, I agree with that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you put her in a spot, she's not winning in that spot.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, like you said, just a one-off match. But shout out to them. Shout out for her having her moment and stuff. And before we continue, that was John Cena's last PLE. So shout out to John Cena. I didn't want to like
yeah,
gloss
yeah.
over that fact because I actually had that fact written down. So shout out
Mm-hmm.
to John Cena, last PLE. All of
Wow.
these great years of like watching John Cena on these premium live events on, what was pay-per-view before that. So shout out to John, bro. But last but not least, or last but least,
At least.
however you want to put it, the men's war game match saw
Yeah.
the vision. The team of Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Drew McIntyre defeat the team of Punk, Cody Rhodes, OTC, Tribal Chief, and the Usos, bro. And that match concluded with a mysterious person jumping in the ring, CM Punk with the vintage Seth
Okay.
Rollins curb stomp, silhouettes and everything around the
Right.
internet and posts, pictures and stuff, got everybody believing that it is Austin Theory. But that curb stomp, somehow, some way, with 8 other people in the ring, ended that match. But shout out to how that match ended in that moment. You know, bro, you can have this, bro. I like you like, go ahead, bro. I don't even like. I'm trying to
I,
be the professional, like, political, like, we're podcasting, so I'm trying to say it like in my professional, bro. That shit was so ass, bro. Like, the fact that I'm trying to read this off with like trying to give it some kudos, bro. First
yeah.
of all,
Nah, I get it.
the match was ass. The only part about that match was good was when Roman came out and Brock Lesnar got out the cage, which in a War
That's
Games match, you're supposed to forfeit a War Games match when you do that, by the way.
right.
But whatever. Brock Lesnar leaves the cage. And again, this
The
is just
rules
the
don't
stuff where
apply,
it's
bro.
like, it's just the stuff where it's just like, don't just throw that away. Like, that's a thing,
Yeah, yeah,
Like, so, but the only cool part, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar stare down. And it's just funny because maybe for like a newer generation, they're like, wow, Roman and Brock. And for us, we done seen that shit so many
yeah.
times.
Oh my
Like,
god, bro.
so many times. But it is kind of that nostalgic feeling when you do see them two get back in the ring
Mm-hmm.
together, where it's like, damn, we done watch this show go down. But beyond that, the match was ass. The storyline, which if there is any, was ass. The only thing
Yep.
that I took away from that match was that, hey, Roman might be fighting Cody again for the belt at Mania, which makes me think Roman is going to go ahead and win the Rumble. If not the Rumble, maybe the Elimination Chamber. But
Jeez.
beyond that, and now it seems like since Braun Breaker got the pin on CM Punk, that's probably the way we going for Mania too.
Yeah.
So I like like the everything about it was ass, bro. Just nothing. Like, I didn't enjoy the match. I didn't enjoy like the setup. I didn't enjoy the post. Like, I didn't enjoy anything about that match. And for that match to be that star studded, I at least expected something better than a Max dude coming in and curb stomping somebody to end that match. It's too much star power, physicality, brutality, and talent in that match for that match to have ended that way, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm just being honest, like, and then it's like you got 8 other people in the ring who haven't moved for the last 15 minutes, and nobody can stop that pin.
Like
It's
it's the
like,
Royal
it's just
Rumble.
the optics of it didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, everybody's just laying there. Nobody
Right.
got hit in like the last 10 minutes. Nobody can jump up and stop. Like, everything about the
Yeah.
setup. Whoever wrote that match, shout out to them. We all have a bad day at the office. Whoever wrote that match was a bad day at the office, bro. But how you feeling about it?
I got some things to say.
Yeah, go, bro.
I gotta,
Floor's
I gotta,
yours.
I gotta rip this apart a little bit. No, I'm in the same realm. I think it was terrible. Um, just from a creative standpoint, a match standpoint, storytelling standpoint, just pointless. This is like WWE's just All Star Weekend. It felt like it was just like here's all
DJ
just
Khaled's on.
right. Like here's everybody we got. This is all our names. We're throwing them in one pot and just go crazy. And it's like I get it. And I get needing to sell the Warren Games match. I get needing to sell that style. But at the same time, it's like if all we're doing is trying to come up with these moments for the PLE or for the specific match, because that pretty much was the advertisement. War Games. Everything is War Games. War Games. War Games is the top match of Survivor Series. And I get trying to advertise it. You got to sell the product, make money, get it. But at the same time, it's like you're robbing yourself of the storytelling, and that's what we want. That's what fans want, and that's why we feel like it's just so underwhelming and just so boring because it's like we're not even getting any of that. It's just okay. Everybody get in the ring and do like your specials. Bring out a table, have a table spot, have Roman spear
Yep.
Brock while he's trying to do the F5. Jey Uso lands on him, whatever. Like a bunch of super kicks, just pausing mid match to turn Jey Uso's music on and yeet. I'm just like, man, like we can't,
Yo, you
like
know what, bro? I'm glad you said that because that was the funniest part of War Games, right? Taking the shark cage away is stupid. Like, I get it. You want
yeah,
everybody to have their pops for their own themes, but it's
mm-hmm.
stupid. Like, if I'm in the ring getting fucked up and I see Roman just casually walking down with the ones up, I'm like, run to the ring, nigga. I'm getting beat up,
Fight,
bro.
bro.
Like, he's just
I'm Roman.
casually walking. Like, yo, Brock Lesnar at F5 and suplex everybody in the ring.
All
And
your
we got
cousins is
Roman.
dead. Like,
For real. We got Roman popping his pose with the fireworks. I'm like, this shit is stupid.
mad
My fault,
pyro.
bro. But that was a good point, man. Like, I hated them shit taking the
It's
tanks away or the cages away, whatever them
uh,
shits are called. I hated that.
it's just man, and like it's crazy when you're outside looking in because obviously when none of us aren't creative and who knows at this point how they even come up with these decisions. I would argue that I think the advent of this merger and the business as a whole and just wanting to constantly take the company to new heights is really what's just ruining things here. Is that a bad thing? Probably not, like not necessarily, because again, I get you got to make sure the company survives and it continues to thrive so you can pay these guys and you need business and your bottom line to be booming in order for things to flow and to work. And I get it, but it's like when you look online, everyone's pissed. Everyone's
Yeah.
booing. Everybody's like, "Yo, I tried to get my money back." Or you see like little bits of stories. Oh, I paid $925 for these seats and I can't even see the ring. It's like, yo, like these are what
Yeah.
fans are going through while they're there. Like we're watching this on TV.
Yeah.
These guys are in the middle of it. Like, yo, we're getting like cheated basically. And
Yeah. But
lackluster
it's like,
matches, like the.
who's mad though, bro? And that just be my thing sometimes, right? Because I get we be mad, but
Mhm.
their bottom line is not reflecting a fan base that's mad.
Yeah,
Their bottom line is reflecting a fan base that continues to want to watch the product,
it's still
and
paying.
that's the problem. That's the problem, bro. I mean to cut your monologue off,
Yeah,
but I just
no,
wanted to
you,
add
you,
that in
you
there,
definitely,
bro.
yeah, no, you made a good point. I think I don't know if this is a turning point. That's going to be interesting to see, but just because I've never seen this much of an adverse reaction to Triple H, his booking, and just how everything has been going so far, like as opposed to other pay-per-views, people are just like, oh, like it wasn't really that great, but like let's just keep watching, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Now it's like, no, this is not good. And I think that it just needs to, and this will be my final point on what I think about the match as a whole. It just needs to get back to a storytelling aspect when we do matches like this, and just a storytelling aspect in general. Like I think so much back to when The Rock was here for like those few months and then leading up to
yeah.
WrestleMania. You remember when he beat the dog shit out of Cody? Like how hyped we felt for that. We knew it was
Mama Rock.
bullshit. Yeah, like he knew it was like it was funny and it was bullshit, and it's
Yeah,
just like wow, we're just watching a rock just do some
absolutely.
crazy shit right now. But that's what makes us immersed in the product. You're taking him outside, you're beating him with the belt, it's raining, you're ripping his shirt off, smearing his blood all over his face. Like you gotta give us moments like that. And it just seems like WWE is so accustomed to just one on one. I'm a pin you clean style match, and it's like I don't know where they're getting this from, but I'm like we gotta bring a little bit of the edginess back. Throw like grade a guy's face into the gate a little bit. He don't gotta bleed, but
Yeah,
sell us the idea like this guy's really hurt. Like you said before, right? Everybody sat around for 15 minutes and then try to break up any of these pins and just let the match go
yeah,
on. Like
and just let the match go.
you didn't sell us the fact that you were like really beat down. You didn't sell us the
Yeah,
fact that that FR really hurt or that spear really hurt or that tsunami from Bronson Reed is like death defying. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like you gotta make us feel these characters, and that's why again I allude back to the companies like AEW because AEW does a really good job of that. Their storytelling might not be so over the top, but when you watch a match, you're like, damn, like this guy getting fucked up.
yeah,
He's getting the shit beat out of him, and you feel that. And they just need if they bring that back, I think people will fall back in love with the product. You know, aside
yeah.
from just trying to grow the right characters and moving away from the Brock Lesnar's and the part timers, I get
Mm-hmm.
that that might be a little tough. But if they could just get back to just giving us these little moments, you could even do it on a week to week basis. It doesn't have to be okay. Jacob Fox who's hurt, so now we're gonna do a backstage segment when he gets completely bowled over. Like give us moments like that that just create a story.
Yeah,
Again, remember Triple H and
that's what
Randy
we
Orton?
asking for.
Exactly. Remember Triple H and Randy Orton? Triple H went to his house, the fake house they had set up, beat the shit
Yep.
out of him, throwing him through the glass. Those are moments people
You
remember. You gotta
have to
just
build story.
gotta create
That's
something.
and then, but then you also have to take chances, right? Like I get like
Yeah.
superstars,
Mhm.
superstars sell, these PLEs, and I get that, there's a return on investment that you got to make. So I understand that
Yeah.
argument, but at the same time, it's no reason why MFTs and the YS6 wasn't the main event of a Survivor Series War Game match. Like to me, that's just not seeing something and just dropping the ball. You have you have two natural factions, bro.
Hmm.
Two natural factions with two leaders that, for better or for worse, you attempted to push and are still attempting to push in
Right.
Bo Dallas and Solo Sokoa. So if that's the case, bro, give them that spot. Give them that spot.
Yeah.
That spot. That Survivor Series War Games they should do away with it if it's just gonna be a superstar fest, bro. They should do away with it.
Right.
They should do away with it, bro.
And
If
four
it's not gonna
matches.
act like if you're not actually gonna, all right, cool. I get maybe one or two. You may have to do that here and there, but it's like the main event of a war game, Survivor Series War Games, should be two teams that we'd be like, oh, okay, I can understand why these guys are fighting. And if we give them that main event on that PLE, let's see what that does to boost them. Because I understand when you're making these decisions, it's a merch decision, it's a crowd participation decision. Like the
Hmm.
push has to happen based on the crowd demand sometime, right? Sometime, not all of the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, that's the moment. That's a team, that's a faction pay-per-view.
Yeah. 100%.
Survivor Series War Games is made for factions.
Hmm.
Leave it that way. Or go off with it. Just move on from it. Move on from it. Or
Yeah.
make it a faction thing, bro. Even a faction that the with Sami Zayn in them. I don't know if that match ever happened or if it got canceled.
I,
My mind's kind of blurred with that, but
right.
it's like even with that, it's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Anything would have been better than just force feeding us Roman and Cody and Punk tag teams, bro.
Uh, uh,
And Brock Lesnar being on the team just looks stupid. Like
yeah.
it
Yeah.
looks weird. Like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is not the type of guy that needs help to do anything.
Right. That guy's a
Like seeing him
monster.
on the team is like, come on, man. And then it's like they also did stuff that I felt like didn't make sense. Like remember the after Raw when Roman and Brock first, I think it was the week after, where they act like they was going back into the ring and everybody faked it, and Logan Paul got beat up by everybody,
Yeah.
and they was
Yeah.
pouring the primer. Like even that didn't make sense. Like so the team just did that to Logan Paul, and he had nothing to say about it. No
That
retaliation.
was it.
No nothing. He was just cool with it.
They just let that ride.
Like it was a rookie hazing, and you
Right,
ain't gonna
right.
say nothing about it. Like what?
Just initiated him.
So it's just like stupid stuff like that. It's like you're
Yeah.
not even giving us full stories, and then you're doing shit that don't even make sense and not
Mm-hmm.
closing the loop. So shout out to WWE, bro. It's
You couldn't
like
have said it
it's
better, man.
it's it's
You
like
couldn't have said it better.
you know
Not closing the
when
loop.
we were kids, certain things we just let slip our mind, like when it didn't make sense or maybe the storyline. As we watch it like more intensely now, as we're now considered diehards, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, you gonna notice those little things.
Yeah.
Like shit, you just gotta make story. I thought Logan Paul was gonna spaz on somebody, cost them the match, something where it's like, oh, that moment was just for like ratings and TV. That didn't mean nothing to the story. Okay, this is what we're doing. And going right back to a Roman and Cody, bro, why wouldn't they? Because it's the obvious money making move. And that's what WWE under this TKO is that's what's everything, bro.
Yep. You got to
It's the
set up the
money.
biggest match,
Yeah.
the
Don't care
biggest
if you
draw.
don't care if we showed you that match 2 times in the last 4 WrestleManias. We'll
Right.
show it to you again.
We running it back.
And again and again. So it's wrestling, as we get to this point in the year, I think wrestling always is in an interesting spot at this point, except for the year when it was like Seth and Cody versus The Rock and Roman. I think it was a lot of momentum
Yeah.
going in, like at this point. So I think that was the last time I felt like WWE for me was just like everything was much see, like the YouTube shorts, what they
Yeah.
was posting on
Yeah.
social media, the Rock's
Yep.
tweets,
The
this
dialogue.
post,
Yeah.
like everything was just much see TV, and I don't feel like I'm as engaged in wrestling like I was
Mm-hmm.
compared to that moment. But we'll see how it goes, bro. We have a WWE Raw happening tonight. I'm just
Mm.
trying to take a look at what's supposed to be happening there.
Supposedly an epic night
Advertised
tonight.
an epic night, according to Triple H. We're gonna obviously see the Survivor Series War Games fall out. The two semi-final matches for the John Cena tournament is
Yes.
happening tonight. Gunther versus Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso versus LA Knight, and then also for the tag team belts, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, also known as AJ Lee, faces the New Day for the World Tag Team Championship. So that's all that's going
Hmm.
on Raw tonight. So should be interesting,
Are
of
they
course.
are they gonna reveal the mystery guy? Is that just
Bro,
that's just deleted?
you don't even have to reveal him no more, bro. Like that's just not what the internet is now. That's why I don't think they should
Right.
have did it that way.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh my god, like before we used to clamor to be like,
Yeah,
oh yo,
yeah,
who was
yeah.
that person? Like
Like
who
we gotta
did
figure
that?
that out.
We know it. Like the nigga got a unique physique in terms of wrestling, and it's like all I'm waiting to see is why him. And
Yeah.
it's not for me to say that he's not worthy. It's just like, what is his role in that faction gonna be? That's
Same way
all
we
I'm
same
waiting to
yep.
see.
Same way we look
Like,
at the
what is,
Logan Paul. Like what?
yeah, what is the role in the faction, right? And again, shout out to them for adding people because it's sort of like the same way they built the bloodline. So I see they trying to follow that same script where it's like every PLE or like every other PLE, it was somebody else coming around to help Roman. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get that, but it'll be interesting to see. And of course, it goes without saying, man, whether he heel, face, hybrid, just miss Seth Rollins. So is there something's missing when Seth Rollins
Yeah.
isn't around,
Yeah.
bro?
He knows how to
Like
make it work.
it's like that. It's like that constant that It's like the Mikal Bridges, like always gonna be there,
82.
always gonna be available. And now I know he's been hurt a few times, so I know the analogy isn't perfect, but I'm just saying that constant that every time he show up, what you gonna get, how you gonna get it, and
Mm-hmm.
how effective it's gonna be.
He's gonna
Like
put on a
it's
show.
that's why Seth Rollins to me is WWE icon status. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely hoping Seth recovers soon and
Yeah.
make his way back, to WWE. It's going to be interesting to see, how they just bring him back as a heel because you have to at this point. But you don't. It's Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins can just come back as Seth Rollins,
Right.
bro. Like
He'll make it
certain
work.
guys,
He'll make it work.
you don't get to put that title on, and I think he's one of them. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's everything. So shout out to Seth. But That's where we are, bro. In the world of wrestling, we're gonna be interested to see what happens tonight. I'm gonna watch it, of course. We're gonna be watching, and it's gonna be great to see what we got to talk about next week. But moving along, bro. Moving along, I did want to have a conversation with you, bro. Like I know. Before we got on, we was talking about it. You can still see me, right?
Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I know when we got on before because I just wanted to give you the update. So this Draymond Green versus Kenyon Martin, bro. We gotta talk about it. So, according to my recollection and my understanding of it, this conflict started or reignited, wherever I don't know, but it was when Kenyon Martin, was on the Gill Arena podcast, and he called Draymond Green the fake tough guy, criticizing Green's style of antagonizing players who he think won't fight back, like the Sabonis and the Rudy Goberts and the Nurkic and the guys like that. Again, I don't know if it was something that led into that. I couldn't find anything before that may have caused Kenyon Martin to say that. So that's why I'm starting there, again, just to be
Mm-hmm.
fair. But maybe he just said it to say it, and that's how he really feels. So that's cool. Stand on your 10. I ain't hating on that. But Kenyon Martin basically suggests that Draymond Green picks and chooses his confrontations, and that Green's intimidate and play and trash talk is calculated, right? So in response, Draymond Green, who has his own amazing podcast that I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching both those podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But Draymond Green fired back just saying, Kenyon Martin underachieved. He was saying like he don't understand where all of the shots was coming from, especially as two men from Saginaw, Michigan. He was saying, that despite Kenyon Martin being the number one overall pick and a former all, like he never made an all defensive team.
Mm.
Saying he said he didn't live up to expectations. He was saying, Martin didn't hold back. He went and just saying, what power forwards he feel was better than Draymond Green, saying that it was 200 power forwards better than Draymond Green.
Oh my
And
god.
it just always sparks that conversation, bro, that
Mm-hmm.
people enjoy having. And that's why I personally wanted to bring up this topic, because
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk about who's better, Draymond and Kenyon. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, both those guys were great, and
Mm.
one has way more accolades than the other, but both I think are individually great players. I wanted to bring this topic up, bro, because like this thing of like being tough, bro, like this shit grinds my gears
Mm-hmm.
so fucking much, bro. Like that topic, that notion of like I have to bring some type of element of something other than basketball. Now, don't get me wrong, bro. I understand you got to have that enforcer, maybe even that antagonizer. But this
Mm-hmm.
conversation of fake tough guy, this guy is a tough guy. I'm really about that. And I saw Richard Jefferson respond like, yeah, Draymond, you wouldn't have been saying that stuff to Kenyon Martin. I'm like, yo, bro, what are we talking about, bro? These are 50 some odd year old men and Kenyon Martin, Draymond Green, and again,
Yeah.
Draymond Green responding. So I get you gonna respond, you stand on it. So I can't really put that on him. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like this conversation behind toughness, and that always being a conversation, and that being with some of these old heads that were great. And I want to emphasize, Kenyon Martin was great. These are the
Right.
things that they hold on to. This is like their bravado, like their stamp of just being able, oh, I could say what I want. I did it like this. And it's like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like where do we get if that's always the conversation? I see Charles Oakley do it all of the time too. I'm like, bro, you 60 some odd years old, bro. Like I don't give a damn what you did 30
Right.
years ago, bro. Somebody beat some one kick to the knee and you're finished, bro. What
He's
are you
done, man.
talking about? We still moving in a society where all of these wealthy ass, successful ass, grown ass black men is still talking about who's tough and who wouldn't have did this when we talking about the game of basketball. We're not talking about UFC and MMA. We're talking about basketball, bro.
This
And
ain't
there's always
elbows
a
and.
and I seen Kenyon Martin saying that, and I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Even if that is the truth about Draymond, so like these conversations is just like so weird to me. Like, oh, he's a fake tough guy. What does that even mean, bro? What is a fake what is a fake tough guy in the NBA
Right,
context?
in basketball, yeah.
What is a fake tough guy? We're gonna talk shit. We're not gonna talk shit.
Right.
If I'm cooking you, I'm gonna be talking shit. If I'm not, I'm gonna be like, what, you gonna swing on me and we're gonna fight and then you gonna lose 500,000?
Yeah, right. You're gonna get right.
What are we talking about? Like you're not going to try to pull up on me after the game and get that fine. You're not going to
Right.
try to harm me because you're making too much money and being successful in your own right. So what did we not taking this to the street? So what are we really
Right.
talking about?
What are we talking? Yep. I agree.
And that's the shit that frustrates me. And then it's just to watch people get on a podcast. Oh, you wouldn't have said that to Kenyon. What?
Just
What?
stirring the pot.
Like, for what, bro? A tough guy? Tough guy.
Tough
That's
guy.
the conversation that we having. And again, I keep saying this. I don't know the basis, but listening to Draymond Green podcast, like, damn, like, I just want to know where this came from. Especially both these guys are from Saginaw. I wouldn't understand why it wouldn't just be love. And again, I
Hmm.
tried to keep up with the dialogue and the back and forth, and maybe somebody could put us on game to like why Kenyon just started taking those shots. Like, did Draymond say something in the past? I just don't know. I just couldn't find it. I tried to look. I didn't have all day to look. I just couldn't find it. So
Mm.
for me, it's just like these unsolicited shots that these old heads always come around and take on a newer generation just because maybe they didn't do it like they did it, or maybe they did it in a way that best suited them or that best suited the needs for their
Or the
team
fans.
at the
Yeah.
moment. It's like, bro, and then like, no, like, yes, you can feel like Kenyon Martin underachieved. I don't feel that way either.
Hmm.
You can only get what you can out your NBA career, and sometimes luck play a role in that too.
Yeah.
You know,
Plus
so
injuries.
I can't, I can never say somebody that had, at least a decade in the league underachieved,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Most
and
people don't
and
even make it.
those Nets teams were great. Now the question should arise. Somebody should go back and maybe we could do that. Go back into the stats and see why, if Kenyon Martin being a such elite defender, which I'm not trying to imply that he wasn't, why it's always three, it's two or three, it's always three all NBA defensive teams, right? Or it's two. It's usually two or three,
I
and
think
that's
it's
something
two.
we should know. But I think it's two. But it's like if you're that great of a defender and you've never made either one of them,
Hmm.
that's kind of Pat Bev at least got on there. You know what I'm saying? You know. So that's kind of alarming. I would love to go back and explore why, and I get it. I know at that time, you had your Tim Duncans in the league, you had your Ben Wallaces, you had Kevin
Especially back
Garnett's.
then.
Yeah, you had your elite wing defenders. So maybe that was the reason. But still, all in all, bro, I get tired of this tough talk. This I couldn't survive this era. I couldn't have done that era. Like that
Hmm.
talk is just so worn out. It's so tiring. And those be the type of talks and those be the type of things that always keep that wedge and that gap between this generation and the previous one. And that's why I hope that a lot of our players, and I think that's one of the things I give LeBron like a lot of the credit for. It's like bridging that gap. Like we could compete, but I could also teach you. I could also help you. I can also show you how to improve your game. I could also, mentor you so that one day you might be the face of the league and you could carry this shit to new heights. We could hang out in the off season. I could give you financial advice. I could kick game with you. We could work out
Hmm.
together. That wasn't really a thing. Everybody used to always try to have their secret workouts. Nobody wanted to know what this person was doing. And I think now that's why you see basketball is, the most skillful it's ever been. And I don't think
Hmm.
nobody can argue that. I'm not saying this directly because LeBron James decided to, hang out with people. But I'm just saying him ushering that new wave of,
There's a
yo,
lot
let's
more
work out
community.
together. Let's work out together. Let's hang out together. Like we can still compete and still be cool. And it's like people act like that's not a thing when it's like, bro, like we play K all the time. We play against each other. I've been played our homies in basketball. I done played Josh
Yeah.
and Ball. I done played against Burner and Ball and was going at them. But those my brothers.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like it's somehow, some way when we get to the NBA and we get to professional athletes, we have that section of people thinking that, hey, you can't be cool and also compete with each other. It's always just like this divide. amongst generations that I'm just tired of seeing. Kenyon Martin was great. Draymond Green was great. But if Kenyon Martin instigated this and initiated this, just got to understand why. Like, what is the point of that
Yeah.
being your talking point about Draymond Green, especially if y'all are from the same town, a town that we know historically has struggled, and y'all both black men. Like, what are the shots for? And that be the problem. We just always see these bridges and these divides in generations
Mm-hmm.
when it's like it just doesn't need to be this way. Nobody care who was tough. I don't care if Charles Oakley would have clotheslined you in '95, bro. We in
Right.
2025. I don't
Right.
give a fuck,
Right.
bro. Charles
With
Oakley
some
not doing
accolades
shit
with
like.
them.
But besides those Madison Square Garden security who wasn't really going to try to hurt him, Charles Oakley ain't beating up nobody, bro. He's 60. Kenyon Martin is 50.
He probably got half an ACL left.
Yo, bro, like, what is wrong with these guys? And you know it's not
Yeah.
street talk. That's the only point that I'm making. You know it's none of that. So it's like,
Mhm.
what is the tough guy conversation for?
Yeah. Yeah.
And why is Draymond Green always the focal point? And that's something that, as a fan, as someone who really respects Draymond Green, that's I get tired of that too. Just the easy attacks that people have on Draymond Green. It's
Yeah.
accolades, it's championships when you want to compare Mike and LeBron, but now it's them championships and them accolades don't matter when we talking Draymond Green comparing them to somebody, right? Everybody has a role on the team. Everybody has a role. And the greatest ones excel in their roles.
Excelling a role. Yep.
Steph Curry is an icon, a generational player. Almost a lot of niggas is taking the backseat to Steph Curry. Only two niggas that's probably not taking the backseat to Steph Curry is Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
Exactly.
And they probably sharing the front seat. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, he had Steph and he had Clay, but they also had Draymond. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Right.
these
It
things are
matters.
team accomplishments, and it just bothers me when we get into the debates. We start to try to take away team accomplishments and people's accomplishments, especially when when you watch them games and them series, that impact that player had. It's just
Mm-hmm.
tiring to see
Mm-hmm.
people try to pull those away because he didn't average 30 while he was doing it.
Right.
You know
30,
what I
10,
mean?
and 10. Like, okay.
And let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Because we could go back. Bro, if LeBron and them ain't close out game 7 and the Warriors won that, Draymond Green would have been finals MVP, bro. Go back and look at them numbers. Go back and look at Draymond Green's game 7, bro. Some of
Yeah.
the craziest
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So I know I went on a long monologue about that, bro, but that shit really be grinding my gears, bro.
No.
Just the wedges that these players do between generations, where it's like, come on, let that shit go. Start
Mm-hmm.
teaching the next generation so that when they on their Hall of Fame speech, they could be like, yo, shout out to Kenyon Martin because he helped me. He did this for me. Shout out to like now when people go up, those big men, oh, I did the footwork with Hakeem Olajuwon. Shout out to this person. Shout out to this person for helping me. It's like, that's how you pay it forward, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop being divisive. Especially like those guys where it's like, your name don't come up in a lot of basketball conversations anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hold on to the
Like,
legacy in a positive way.
it's like be great where you are.
Uplift the game, uplift the next generation.
I
You know
agree.
what I mean?
I agree.
So that's all I wanted to say about that, bro. Just I know that was a long-winded, monologue on that, but how you feel about that situation, bro?
I'm in agreement pretty much. Like you mentioned, but I do think that Draymond just typically happens to be just the fall guy. I think he's just easy to pick on. And I know you asked as to why, Kenyon Martin would even go that route. But I think that's usually why. I just think it's like Draymond's just an easy target. We can look at his actions or like situations that he's been involved in when it comes to the league, like being in the game or out the game or like at practice. It's when that news is just in your atmosphere, it's easy to remember that. Like, oh, I remember when this particular player did X, Y, Z. And
Yeah.
I think that's in a sense, it's just like, sort of like a prisoner of the moment type thing. It's just like, oh, well, I got this to say about Draymond. But again, like you said, I agree totally. It's like, why can't we just both be great? Why do you have to name
Yeah.
200 other power forwards that's better than you? Meanwhile, the guy has 3, 4, 5, whatever amount of rings, and has proven
That's real.
himself to be solid in the role that he was assigned. Right? Is not trying to be Steph Curry. Is not trying to be Clay. Is not trying to average 40 and be the top guy on the team. He knew what he had to do, and he made it work within his skill set, and that's enough to be
Yeah.
a great player. Like we don't look at someone like a Robo Horry who's got what 7 rings and be like, yo,
Yeah.
Robo Horry, like the guy
Robert
did
Ory, Mount
it.
Rushmore.
Yeah, like
We don't never say that. One of the GOATs. We don't say that.
he did what he needed to do in the time that he was given. He made either a
Yeah.
clutch shot
Big
or
shot. Big shot
he was a
five.
part of 7 championship teams, and I feel like that has to matter in some right. I'm not saying Robert Horry again. He's not nobody around Rushmore. He's not the greatest of all time. But let's just give respect to people who have
Accolades
been
have to matter.
like they've been a part of something special 7 times, right? Same thing with Kobe. You've been a
Yeah.
part of something special 5, 6 times. Like like these guys got to the mountaintop and have made it happen, and you got to give people props for that. Yeah, of course. There's always the on the court stuff and flailing your body, kicking Steven Adams in the balls, or like hurting another player, and accidentally throwing like an
Yeah.
elbow, hitting the ref. I get it, but it's just like like K-Mart was a great player. Draymond is a great player.
Absolutely.
Why is this the route that we have to go? Again, like you said, as players where they come from, same hometown, as black men, as people in the NBA community, which what like I don't even know the stat. I'm completely paraphrasing, but what like 10% of the people make it to like 10% of the people make
Yeah.
it to the league. That's probably completely wrong, but you know what
Yeah,
I
and
mean. It's
that's
just like
high. I think that's
it's
just for like
right,
2%,
probably low.
1%.
Yeah, right, probably
Yeah,
lower.
yeah,
Exactly. Like
yeah.
it's just not a
It was
lot of
probably
people
a
that
decimal percentage, probably, bro. If we
point
being honest,
point
yeah,
72.
yeah,
But it's just like like you said, this is just the game and the organization should be about the community and just the leveling up of the stars to come, the next
yeah.
group of guys, and again, Kmart is great, but it's like, dude, like, who cares, bro? We don't
For
care
what,
about we don't care
man?
about toughness. Win the chip, make an all-star team,
Come on,
cook
man.
somebody, like that. We
Come
want
on.
the competition, we want the competitiveness, like talk about the game, talk about how I dropped 45 on you one game, give a stat. I don't care if I'm tough. What are we
Yeah,
doing?
bro.
What are we
Nobody,
doing?
nobody debates that amongst like winners and goats. You
Yeah,
say, yeah,
he was tough.
he,
He could throw an elbow.
they both great, but what separate? He was tough. He was tough. He was a tough guy.
He'd knock you out if
He was a
he
tough
could.
guy. No, nobody cares.
Okay,
Nobody cares.
great. How much did he average?
Nobody cares. Tyrese Maxey ain't a tough guy.
Right, he dropped in 50.
He ain't a tough guy. Luka talks shit to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Luka ain't no tough guy.
Yeah,
But he busting your ass. He gonna talk shit to you
he
while he
dropped some
do it.
big dubs.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
hopefully we could move on from these pointless kind of categories that we try to put players in, or we try to pigeonhole them in, that don't really matter to the grand scheme of things, especially in 2025. Like it's this tough guy. Like I don't like what bro. And if
Mm-hmm.
you was tougher and your team went to the finals, like Jason Kidd was y'all Steph Curry. You know,
Yeah.
y'all didn't get it done. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like those things matter. Nobody said, "Damn, man, the Nets got their ass whooped in the finals," but King Martin, he was tough. He was tough. He was a tough guy in that series.
You say you see him
I
set
give a
that screen
fuck.
on Shaq that one game?
Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. Like nobody walks around intimidated of like these people.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think when I hear tough guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So what if
Not
Draymond ain't a tough guy?
not phased.
And so what if you was stupid enough to swing on somebody and lose 500,000?
Right.
All that money you done lost in fines. It's like, and people try to stand on stupidity. Like,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
bro.
Talking about that's
Don't
nothing.
swing that. Don't swing that to the next generation when you done paid millions of dollars in fines. Money
Yeah.
that I'm sure if it was in your pocket right now would probably, allow you to, make some flexible financial moves. Not
Mm-hmm.
trying to imply that anybody's broke. I don't know nobody's situation,
Yeah.
but I'm sure nobody's above having an extra 2 million in their bank either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We talking about 2 milli.
Nobody's above that, and I don't know what his career fines are, but it's like,
That's
fam,
a
you're not
fact.
sending the right generation. The point is to keep your money, keep
Mm-hmm.
your paper.
Mm-hmm.
You have more than half a life to live once you leave the NBA, God willing.
Right. Right.
You
Because
gotta
them
stack your
injuries,
paper, but
them injuries compound, man. They do.
yeah, bro, that was just one of those topics. As you can tell, I was super passionate about, and we had to talk about. But we got to figure it out, man. These bridges between these generations, we got to do better.
Yeah.
But moving on to some great news, one of our favorite segments of the week, bro. I don't know where you want to start, bro. Do you want to start in New York or you want to start in LA when we talk players of the week? Where you want to start? Do
um,
you want to start in New York or do you want to start in LA?
man, I ain't gonna
Where we
lie.
going?
I ain't gonna lie. We gotta go to LA first. We gotta make that trip,
We
bro.
gotta go to
We gotta
LA
take
to
a flight.
the Luka the
That team.
Luka Doncic
That team, bro.
finally debuts
Yep.
on NBA Players of the Week. Luka
Raise it.
Doncic with the Lakers going 3-0 this past week, and Luka averaged 37, 8, and 10. Shout out to Luka, the
37.
finally Player of the Week. He finally made it. Shout out to Luka. How you feeling about the Luka pick, bro?
Well deserved, man. That team is gelling, bro. Like, what are they?
Listen,
7 straight,
man.
right? 7 straight. 7 straight
Yeah,
wins.
7 straight. Shout out to my boy who I be watching the battle rap Piper Boy Williams. He be like, listen to me. Listen to me. Luka is cooking. Luka
Yeah.
cooking, man.
I'm
Love to
I'm
see
I'm
it.
just glad it's working, and I think all the questions have just been dispelled. Like, the man is here, he's here to play, and he's dropping buckets. Like
Yeah.
we knew he always would, and it just so happens that the rest of the team is following suit. Because I don't know if you've been following everybody. These guys are balling, man. Like, they're
Bro.
balling. They're balling.
Bro. Bro. The Lakers are looking amazing, and it's easy for me to jump into that topic because it's my favorite team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But Lakers are looking amazing, and I think the underrated superstar and the underrated hero of this season is for sure DeAndre Ayton. But like he is making a lot of these guys flourish, making these assist numbers look crazy for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make it a full on Laker topic, but shout out to the Lakers. They looking good. And white boy Cole, WBC, that boy AR-15.
WBC.
White boy Cole. But shout out to Luka, man. He deserves it. Luka's doing what Luka does, bro. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you still appreciate it, but I just don't ever want to get to the point where it's just like, Luka. But that happens. That happens with certain players. But shout out to Luka Doncic, shout out to the Lakers. Moving on to New York, bro. And we
Back
not
home.
stopping in Brooklyn.
Coming back.
We will never stop in Brooklyn this year, bro. Only time
Straight
we
to the
stopping
Mecca.
in Brooklyn is when we doing our next segment, maybe for our plus minus therapy. But when I say we coming to New York for Players of the Week, just know it's only one stadium, it's only one
We
arena we could
home.
go to, excuse me, and that's Madison Square Garden.
That's the
Player of
bright
the
lights.
Week, Eastern Conference. The former Dallas backcourt that Nico Harrison fucked up. Now that I look at it, Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson, the Players of the Week. The Nico Nightmare, Player of the Week. But
The
shout
Nico
out to
Night.
Jalen Brunson, the Nico Nightmare backcourt. Jalen Brunson had 28.8 points, 4.5 assists, shooting 40% from the three as the New York Knicks went 4-0 this past week. So NBA players for week 6, Jalen Brunson in the Eastern Conference. How you feeling about that pick?
Great, man. I just like that they just have been able to hold their own and they just continue. Because I know the injuries kind of been a little bug around. little bug going around. I know we've been out a couple games. Shan been out a couple games. They've been having to move the roster around. So for them to just be maintaining and I think they're pretty close to the NBA Cup, right? I think they're like not that far out. But they got to win
Yeah,
like one
yeah,
two
yeah.
more
Yeah,
games.
they're in the cup.
Like they're good, man. It's just they're just fun to watch. It's like
Yeah,
you can't help but be hyped because as Knicks fans we've been waiting for this.
yeah. No, for sure. So
We need this.
as always, man, shout out to Nico Harrison for this week's players of the week.
Right.
Because without you, both of these guys would still be in Dallas, and both
Making
of them couldn't
everything
be player of the
possible.
week in the same week. So we
Right.
appreciate that. Thank you, Nico. You know, the gift that keeps on giving. You gave to my favorite, team
Even
in
when
the
it's gone.
Lakers. You gifted, my hometown team and a lot of my homies' favorite team and my mom's favorite team in the Knicks. So
Hmm.
we appreciate you, Nico. We appreciate you, Nico.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Shout out to Jalen, Brunson, and Luka Doncic, man.
Mm.
Players of the week, bro. And
Players
before
of
we
the
get
week.
out of here, bro, you mind if I have the floor for a second?
Yes.
Because
Of course, bro.
we gotta talk, bro. I need you to sit back, bro, relax, and just take in this new segment of this edition of Plus Minus Therapy, bro.
Plus
This is
minus.
the only segment, bro, where plus minus isn't just a stat, it's a diagnosis. So
I know.
sit back, bro. Let's begin. Let's begin. So we was just talking about the New York Knicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a patient that came into my therapy session this week, glowing, like he just aced a job interview that he didn't prepare for. My man, my guy, drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers, so he always gonna have a spot in my heart. Josh Hart, no pun intended,
No pun
spot in my
intended.
heart. Josh Hart posted a plus 76 over 4 games
Come
this
on,
week, bro.
man.
Plus
Come
76.
on,
That's like
man.
that's like, damn. That's like the shit we want to see on our student loans after our credit score. After we pay off them loans, we like plus 76. Talk to me, man. That's what I need.
Trying to
I
fly.
need I need that. I need that, increase in my credit card limit. So here's what happened, bro. Josh Hart came, he sat down, he said, Dwayne, I don't know what's going on. Every time I check in, every time I'm playing, the vibes of the team it's just going up. And I'm like, Josh, you have been elevating the team's synergy,
So we do.
increasing the emotional needs of the team. These are
Mm-hmm.
good symptoms. Don't fight them. And he said, you know what, Dwayne, you're right. He said, so I'm going to continue doing exactly what I've been doing. So shout out to Josh Hart for this week's overachiever in the plus minus
Plus
therapy
minus,
session.
yeah.
Shout out to Josh Hart, man.
Come on,
We need
man.
you to keep it going. Well, and bro, as I was having this good week, because as a plus minus therapist specialist that I am, I was like, I hope this is just a good week. I hope we just continue to get the good players, good vibes, nobody having a bad week. And then my door opened. And in walks Derek Queen of the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh my God.
Derek Queen.
What's going on?
He came in with a emotional baggage of a minus 68, bro.
Mm.
A minus 68 over 4 games this week. Minus 68. And, he sat down and he said, Dwayne, every time I check into the game, bad things happen. And I said,
Yeah.
Derek, you're probably going through a little basketball turbulence.
Yeah.
Your team is in a developmental recession. So just don't panic. Go to film study, pay attention to your defensive rotations,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly lean on a veteran on your team for emotional support. Derek responded. He said, yeah, I understand that, Dwayne, but I am worthy of playing with good lineups. I am worthy of the defensive help. I am not the problem alone. And I looked at Derek and I said, accountability, my brother. Accountability. There's other players on your team, and none of them was a minus 68 this week.
Right.
That was you.
Somebody
So
was
go
being a
back,
cone.
talk to your team, figure it out, and you'll recover. And I hope that the next time I see you, I see you on the other side of therapy. He said, thank you, Dwayne. He left my office, but I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing him again. Shout out to this version of the plus minus therapy. Shout out to Josh Hart this week, plus 76 over 4 games. Shout out to Derek Queen, a minus 68 over 4 games. How you feeling about the plus minus for this week, bro?
Damn, man, it's crazy because ever since we started doing this, I've been paying attention a little bit more to like the plus minus. It's an important stat. It really shows you where
It is.
people be at when they on the floor. I'm just like, damn, man, if you getting a minus 68,
Yeah.
something going on, bro.
Yeah. Like I always say, it don't tell the whole story, but it's a significant chapter in it.
Right. It tells you something. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna learn
Yeah.
about
For
somebody
sure.
for sure. But again,
For sure.
this is kind of the conversation even in relation to the Draymond thing, right? Like we look at Draymond and we were like, okay, he's not no Steph Curry, he's not no Klay Thompson, but he impacts the game. Same way you could look at a
Yes.
Josh Hart. We know Josh Hart is not averaging no 28 a game, 10 assists,
Yeah. Not at
13 points.
all.
Not doing that. But he gonna give you a 12, 12, and 12. He gonna give you a 8,
Yeah.
9, and 11. He gonna give you those stats that like, damn,
Absolutely, bro.
impacting every aspect of the game. And that matters, man. That
Absolutely.
matters. That it's a team
It
sport.
matters, bro. It
Mm-hmm.
matters when I'm able to look at a box score as a coach or as a GM or as a scout and say, damn, when this guy's on the floor, although he's not the one putting the ball in the basket, he's impacting the team in a positive way.
Yeah.
So let me see what he's doing. Oh, he's going for the loose balls. He's getting those extra rebounds. He's getting those extra
Mm-hmm.
assists, a la Draymond Green, right? So just like you said, so shout out to Josh Hart, man. Josh Hart's always been the guy that does those, those little things. He's probably not going to hit the game-winning three for you, but he's probably going to get the steal prior to that game-winning three that's going to
Or
set you up
it
for it.
just
So
might set you up.
shout
Yep.
out to Josh Hart.
Mm-hmm.
You need those guys on teams. You need those glue guys. You need those hustle guys. You
The
need those
glue.
guys that could touch every stat. That matters too.
Yeah.
That could touch every stat. So when I'm not can only give you 8 points, I probably gave you 14 rebounds, probably gave you 8 assists, probably
Assist.
gave you 2 steals, probably gave
Still.
you a block, and
Block.
that's how my plus minus for the week is what it is. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to the Knicks. 2 of our segments today, plus minus, and for player of the week. So that means they got to be playing some good basketball,
Oh yeah.
in the garden. So shout out to them, bro. But before we get up out of here, before we conclude this episode, paint to the pit, just wanted to see where you was at this week, bro, with your shout outs from the
Ooh.
paint to the pit or anywhere in sports, bro. Where are you this week with your out?
I'm definitely going to the paint and really going to the paint, man, because I do want to give a shout out. And this is just somebody that I've been following a little bit because I don't really
Yeah.
watch college basketball. But in the world of women's college basketball, there is a woman on Iowa State. I don't know if you heard of her. I might be pronouncing her name wrong. I think it's Audi Crooks.
Okay.
Wild to watch. That like when you talk about
Okay.
like dominant, I'm like, oh, like 40 points in like 19 minutes type
Yeah.
dominant. I'm like, oh, that's a scary
Okay.
woman, bro.
I gotta go
I
check her
don't know
out.
if you
I
gotta
gotta go
check
check
some
her out.
highlights out.
I gotta go check her out. Yeah, I'm gonna go check her out for sure. I'm gonna go check her out. You
This
gotta
is
be hyped
like
now.
it's going to be interesting because I think she's going to make the WNBA and be possibly a top pick. I wouldn't put it past her, but I would love to see her in the WNBA because that'll be really interesting to watch. I can't speak to what success she's going to have, but seeing her play now and just the little highlights I've been catching on to and how many points she's dropping plus rebounds, blocks, and seeing a person move like that at that size, I'm like, man,
Absolutely.
she type dominant.
Bro, you about to have me go watch. You about to have me go watch highlights after this, bro. I promise you. I'm going to check out some highlights. So I appreciate that. Shout out to Audie Crooks. I'm definitely gonna go check it out. For me, bro, I was torn, and it's probably gonna be the only time that I ever adjust our segment and choose two. I
Mhm.
was torn this week. Both of them. You went to the paint. I'm going back to the pit for both of my shout outs for the week. Naomi posted that they're having a boy. So I definitely want to shout out Naomi and
Wow.
Big Jim
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulate them on having a boy. I think they were supposed to have a
Congrats.
gender reveal, but I think she said there was some complications, but
Oh
everything's
wow.
good. So,
Yeah, yeah.
congrats to them having a boy, another little oos,
It's
praying
right.
for her, praying for, Naomi's and the baby's safety, healthy, entrance into the earth. But also I wanted to give a shout out to Lash Legend and Trick Williams for getting
Mhm.
engaged over this weekend. You know, I love love, bro. I love love. So that's why I had to give both of them the shout out, as we enjoy wrestling and wrestlers, same with any sport, like certain people, well, while you don't know them on a personal level or you don't know their character as much or you can't speak to them, some people you just, get a little bit attached to and you just want to see them do well and stuff. And that's
Yeah.
how I feel about everybody that I just named. So shout
Mhm.
out to Naomi and Big Jim
Big
on
Jim.
their son, Lash Legend, Trick Williams on their engagement. Beautiful time to be a wrestling fan, bro. Beautiful time to be a basketball fan. And I always say beautiful time, even in the midst of, shit being trash. Because it's like, for us to appreciate the highs, we got to have lows. If
Yeah.
everything is high all of the time, what is the high?
What is
So,
yeah? What is
oh, that's a bar. Come on. I'm going to start closing these out with words of wisdom. If everything is high, what is the high? So I think this is a great time to be a wrestling fan because we have the wiggle room to get so much better. And when
yeah?
you can only go up from a place,
Mm-hmm. A lot
there
more
there
room.
remains that little bit of optimism. And same thing with basketball, prime into this season, we prime into holiday season, Christmas games coming up that
Oh
nobody
yeah.
can afford. But shout out,
2 grand a seat.
shout, shout out, listen. And when I say can't afford, it's like I'm not spending that money for something I'll probably have a better experience watching in the crib. But
Right.
we'll get there. Maybe that's the elders in us. But from the
Right.
paint to the pit, bro, another episode. We concluded. Until next time, we are out. Peace.